Hi, I'm Alex, and this is Tank Tested. Today, we're getting an inside look into the fish room of my friend Chris. But we'll only be looking at one fish tank this week. Today, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is that the tank we're about to look at is so large that I struggled to get a full shot of the entire tank. The good news is that I will actually be doing 4 videos on Chris's fish room, and they'll all be coming out in August. I have no idea how I'm going to do it. Also, at the end of this video, there's a little bonus feature that you should stick around to check out. But enough stalling, let's get down to the tank. To start things off, this tank is 60 inches long, 18 inches deep, and 30 inches tall. To tell you what's inside, I'll be handing the reins over to Chris.
My name is Chris Weinhold, and this is my fish room. I guess in the largest tank that I have, 150 gallon, going for somewhat of a loose Amazon biotope. I know I have a few things that don't quite fit, like Blasia japonica and Aerocolon Vietnam, but I think they are representative of some of the things that you would see in an Amazon biotope.
I've gone through and labeled many of the plants in this aquascape, as well as where they're from. As you can see, many of them are not from the Amazon River Basin, but Chris took inspiration from an imagined Amazon ecosystem. That's why this is Amazon-inspired rather than an Amazon biotope, where the plants and fish would actually need to be from the river basin. When building a scape, it's important to start with some sort of inspiration, and that's what Chris has done.
The whole idea behind this tank is on the left side you have a large mass of wood, and it's actually shaded by floating plants. And the idea being there that would be more of the stream bed bank, and it would be naturally more shaded because you're going to have tree, leaves, other things overhanging. But then as you get out into more of the open water, as you look towards the right of that tank, it's more sandy bottom. Where pieces of wood and rocks are laying, plants will naturally seed and clump in those areas while leaving some naturally open areas. And then you will often see in those big open areas larger plants like sword plants that kind of also find their niche. So that's the idea behind the tank.
But this scape isn't just about the plants. It also has some lovely fish, like angels.
I do have some angels. The koi angel probably is the nicest looking one. The koi and the marble veil came from another Guapa member who was breeding them and just happened on a whim to pick them up at a meeting maybe a couple years ago. The other 2 angels I had for quite a while. They're 1 generation removed from the wild scalari angelfish from Peru. Got them from a angelfish breeder that brings in wild angels to help keep their stock healthy. And it's interesting knowing seeing the differences between the wild and the obviously tank-raised fish. The wild ones are far more susceptible to disease, do not like temperature fluctuations, and really any fluctuations compared to the other ones, which are pretty bulletproof.
But angels aren't the only fish that call this aquascape home. Here, I've labeled a couple of the other fish that inhabit this Amazon-inspired aquascape. You may have also noticed the lovely shimmering effect that coats every surface in this aquarium. That effect is caused by 3 Kessel 360 pendant lights hanging above the scape. I've included links to similar lights in the description, but they are quite pricey. If you like a shimmer in your tank, LEDs like these are a great way to achieve that effect. But if you find that shimmer distracting, You can use a diffuser to soften the directionality of your light output, or use a fluorescent T5 light bulb instead of LEDs. They're far less efficient, but they do provide a soft cast rather than the shimmering effect of spotlight LEDs like the Kessel 360s. Now, before I tell you about the bonus feature that I mentioned at the start of this video, a little bit of housekeeping. First, the Aquascape we just looked at does use CO2, and Chris does dose liquid fertilizers into the water column. Those plants don't look that way by mistake. Second, you can follow Chris on his blog, guitarfish.org. It's a great resource if you're interested in fish or plant care. He's also a board member of GWAPA, the Greater Washington Aquatic Plant Association. I'm also a member there, and I can't speak highly enough of it. So, if you're in the Washington, D.C. area, please consider attending one of our monthly meetings. With all that taken care of, here's the bonus feature. I've hyped it beyond anything it could ever live up to, but here goes. In the description of this video, I've left a link to another video that contains all of the footage I shot of this aquarium. There's no audio commentary, it's just the footage I shot. I'll be doing a similar video for all 4 of the tanks in Chris's fish room. Now, I'm doing it as a test to see whether or not people actually like this approach. I won't be making those videos public, but I would like to hear your feedback. I'm thinking about using them as a bonus feature for a Patreon account that I may or may not create to help offset the cost that I incur making this channel. Let me know what you think in the description below, and I will see you really soon.